For 10 years, 1983 to 93, I watched Mad Lizzie, The Green Goddess on BBC.
And then just swing into action.
And start swinging your arms as well.
And I kept thinking I could do better. And they'd say, no, kind of black man doing fitness on television would never work. It had to be a white guy. I wasn't put off by that. So 23rd of August, 1993, I went on.
We're gonna do it! Why are we gonna do it? Because we are wicked!
All of a sudden, Rich, top of the ratings. Everyone just bombarded the phone line saying we want more of this, and that was it. I thought you were older.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Well, how old are you?
Listen, I know better. I'm 73. I don't mind saying it because I look good.
You do. Very
By the way,
good.
thank you. You know, I've never rubbed up against hairy legs before. It's really great. Yeah, it's lovely.
I've never seen your legs. What are they like under these gym jammers?
They're legs, okay? Don't worry about it. They're legs, okay? But it's just your hair seems to be pushing its way through my clothes.
Apologies. Apologies.
No, it's okay. Men don't sit with their legs together. It's
Very true.
Yeah.
So what am I best calling you anyway, by the way? Because I don't know.
Anything you like. I mean,
but what do you prefer, Derek or Mr.
No,
M?
no one knows who Derek is. You mentioned Derek, they go, Derek who?
Very true.
Mr. M is if you're a friend, Mr. Motivator if you're not. So call me Mr. Motivator.
Okay, Mr. Motivator. Perfect. Perfect. But I want to find out about your life anyway because...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That story. You know how many times I've told this story? During lockdown,
yeah,
everyone from across the world, because that's how far it went, wanted interviews. And I did 3,500 interviews in a year and a half. Every week there was calls coming in from either Chinese Global Network or Access Hollywood or what it didn't matter. Everyone wanted. And always the question was, where did you spring from? How did that happen? And I keep saying to them, read my book, you cheapskate. I mean, you're looking for a free copy, aren't you?
I am. I'm surprised I've not got one yet.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hint at what went on, right?
Okay.
And how it all happened.
Okay.
And then for you to get the bits that fill in between, you're going to have to read a book, isn't it?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. My life is all about trying to survive out there. So let's say you're a single parent, you've been homeless, you got nowhere to stay, you're in a bed and breakfast, you really want to actually succeed. So you do whatever jobs are available. 1 minute I'm stacking shelves in Tesco. Next minute I'm on a building site. It didn't really matter. You know, I just did whatever I had to do to survive because I would look after my daughter on my own. And one day I'm in a leisure centre in Harrow and I could hear this noise coming from down the corridor. So I thought, let me go and check it out. So I go down the corridor and there's a little peephole. And I'm looking through and I could see all these ladies moving. And every time a new track of music came on, they had to choreograph things that they would do with it.
How old was you here, by the way?
I was literally at age 33,
Okay.
33. And I'm thinking to myself, I like that. So every Tuesday, I'd be at the class, sitting at the back of the class. There's about 100 ladies in there. And they'd be working out to what was then called pop mobility.
Ah.
And I thought, I like this. So what did I do? I actually spoke to two ladies at the front. I said, listen, would you like to come and run a class for me? And they said, yes. They said, where's the location? I didn't have one. I said, I'll be back in touch with you. So I went wandering around looking for a church hall. Eventually I found a hall in Neasden, church hall, and I set up doing my classes. And for the first month, I just was watching what they were doing. And at the end of the month, I said, you know what, I could do this. Clear off. Leg it. Right? And I took over. And the class numbers just grew and grew and grew till it got to the point, right, where in fact I had to have another hall. And this hall would have 125 people in there.
Wow.
And twice a week, there'd be 125 people who travel from all over, 15, 20 miles to come to my classes. We'd do an hour and a half of a HIIT interval. We used to call it interval training. We used to step up on benches. And that's how popularity grew. And before I knew it, everyone started hearing about Derek's classes. It doesn't ring the same as Mr. Motivator, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And out of the blue, I got a call from the British Heart Foundation saying, listen, we've heard about your classes. Would you like to travel around the country with us talking about exercise? I said, yeah. Now, remember this. I had no qualifications. I knew nothing about exercise other than I read every single book that was available. Dr. Cooper brought out a book on what is aerobics. And that was my Bible. I was literally every video I could get from America because they were at the forefront of exercise. Those videos would come in I'd watch them, learn what they were doing. And that's how I built up my library of exercises.
Wow.
That's how it all began.
Yeah, but that's the best way though sometimes, isn't it? Because like it comes from a passion rather than just going through the motions. Of,
Yeah.
Like, I think everything pretty much I know now is all self-taught. All of it.
And I think it gives more credibility to who you are, because it's very easy for you to say, listen, I'm going to university to study to be this.
Yeah.
But when you come out from university, you need those practical experiences, right? You need almost like a work experience to be any good at it. And I just basically immerse myself in the subject. And don't forget, at the time, the only people that people watched in terms of exercise was Cher brought out a video. We had a lady from America called Karen Voigt. She was like the queen of our fitness. And all these people had videos in this country. Then I came on the scene. And then I took over.
So how did you go from that to being on TV and everything that followed from that?
It's for 10 years, 1983 to 93, I watched Mad Lizzie, the Green Goddess on BBC, doing their sort of called exercise on TV. And I kept thinking I could do better. And I used to go down at least once a month down to the studios of GMTV, which was in Camden Lock. And I'd be in their offices saying, listen, I could do better. Let me do it for you, right? And they'd say, no, we have a contract with Mad Lizzie. It won't work. And a black man doing fitness on television would never work. It had to be a white guy with hairy legs and shorts, right? No, that was then, not now. You got no chance. It had to be. But I wasn't put off by that. And then one day, I got a call from Gloria Hunniford saying we're doing a show called Sunday. We'd heard about all your classes and how popular they are. Would you like to come and be on the show? So I said, okay. I went on the show. I had 10 guys with me. I drilled them like a sergeant major. There were no bright colors or anything. I was dressed like a sergeant major. We went down a storm. And at the end of it, she said, would you like to come and teach me and train me? And I said, yes, not realizing she lived all the way in Kent. And I lived in Mill Hill. And that was going to take me an hour and a half each day to get to her. But 3 times a week, I used to go down there. And it's amazing, when you feel you're onto something. There was a fuel that was kind of driving me. And until now, I don't know what it is. And she would say to me when we were training, she said, look, you ought to be on television, right? There's got to be a way of getting you on. But she couldn't do anything about it. And then she introduced me to Eamon Holmes.
Oh, wow.
And Eamon Holmes happened to be on an aircraft going north. And I was on the same aircraft, sitting just by him, but he didn't have hairy legs. I'm
shaving him. It's official now.
Please. Right, no, don't. You'll be cold. Right. And on the aircraft, he was sitting by me, and behind us was Mad Lizzie and the Green Goddess, and we're all going up to a game show that Chris Tarrant was presenting called The Main Event. So Eamon got talking to me and he said, I heard all about you. Would I like to start training him? And I said, yes. So I used to go down to the studios on a morning to train him. And before I knew it, he brought out all the other presenters. Lorraine Kelly. There was a weather girl called Sally Mean, a weather guy called Simon Biaggi. They all came out and were training with me. Right? And one day I'm sitting in the reception, looking across, right? And there's a door, and the door opened, and this guy came in with a big stomach. And as he walked in, I don't know what got on me, but I got up, walked over, and prodded him in the belly. And I said, you need to sort that out, mate. He says, clear off, leave me alone. So he went off into the lift. And when he went into the lift, I said to the receptionist, who was that? He said, that's the program controller of GMTV.
Oh, my
I said,
God.
good, what floor is he on? He said, the 5th floor. So next day, I brought my bike in. Those are the days you could wander into anywhere. No one would check you.
No.
Came in with my bike, went up to the 5th floor, knocked on his office. He wasn't there, pushed my bike in his office and ran away. And about 11:30, when I finished training with the presenters, I went up and knocked on his office and I said, excuse me, Mr. McHugh, you need to actually use that bike. He said, why are you picking on me? I said, I found out you're a program controller, and that means you've got people who you're responsible for.
Wow.
So what you need to do, you need to get yourself fit and healthy and look after them. And he said, I don't have time. I said, hold on.
I hate that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't
when
have
people
time.
say that,
Yeah.
it's
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's the worst excuse in the world.
It really is.
Because if they've got new love in their life, they find time for it.
Oh, exactly that.
Anyhow, they called his secretary in Jill. She said, look, he can definitely train on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock when you finish with the presenters. And next week we started training. And a couple of weeks later, he said to me, you need to be on television. But I don't know whether we can do it. They had a girl one day who was doing it, and the advertisers said, look, I don't think it'd work, a black man doing it. We won't advertise on the spot. And one day I'm walking through the office and I could hear this lady saying, is the Key Fit Association available because the presenter of fitness is going on holiday for 2 weeks, right? And we'd like you to come in and run the fitness. And I knelt down by the side of her and I said, put the phone down, please. Put the phone down. Her name was Lolling him. She put the phone down. I said, don't bother with them. Come on, bother with me. Let me do it. She says, well, the advertisers won't advertise around you being on. I've already spoken to Peter McHugh. I said, but come on, there's got to be a way. She said, look, leave it with me. Things have a way of changing. A few weeks later, she called me up and she said, listen, we've spoken to the advertisers. They won't advertise around when you're on, so we're going to try you for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So he said, you need to come in. We need to see what you're going to be doing. I said, I don't know what I'll be doing. He said, well, we need to work out which camera and you look at and stuff like that. So I said, look, just tell me how it works. So I went downstairs, 5 cameras. I said, how do I know when it's on me? She says, well, the red light will come on and that tells you it's on. I said, okay. How about if I speak to the camera as if I'm speaking to her indoors? So I go, biceps, we're working the biceps, working legs and stuff like that. And you just follow my direction. She says, well, it's never been done like that before. Let's try it. So 23rd of August, 1993, I went on.
Wow, you remember the date then?
Yeah. And that was it. Everyone just bombarded the phone line saying we want more of this, and that was it.
Did it take you a few tries to sort of get who you are now, or was it just, it was your calling, you knew it straight away?
No, I knew I'd arrived. In fact, I mean, whereas everybody else would be excited about it, I wasn't excited at all. It's almost like I knew it was going to happen. It was only a question of when.
Yeah.
And I got on, I mean, I'll always remember the Thursday of that first week. I came upstairs, I come off line, there's 150 people in the offices, and everybody stood up and applauded me.
Oh, wow.
And Mr McHugh came out of his office and said, we want to see you. So when I walked into his office, he said, take a seat. I said, what can I do for you? He said, well, we want to offer you the position of being the fitness presenter on the show. I said, nah. I'm not interested. I said, I'm only kidding.
I could see you doing that as well. I really can.
Okay, let's talk contract. So he told them to book me for 2 years. And the guy upstairs said, no, we're only going to do it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Bad mistake. Because after that, don't forget, they were at the back of the ratings. All of a sudden, we're top of the ratings. In fact, they took me everywhere from then on. I was traveling the world with them.
Oh, amazing.
We're in Vegas, we closed the strip. Next minute, we're, in Singapore. And then I started doing things for children to do with Power Rangers and stuff like that. I started doing all that. And so it just developed. And from then on, I was like every 15 minutes on the station, I was on doing something, whether it was birthdays. I tell you this, we announced that we're going to set up a mini motivator club. And everyone would get a certificate and a badge that said, I'm a mini motivator. That first week, we had 10,000 kids rode in.
You're joking.
And they couldn't handle it. So they decided not to do it.
That's amazing.
I got a call from Universal Studios saying, would you be interested in doing some videos? So I said, yeah. So we met up in Hammersmith with the chief executive. He had an envelope in his pocket and he took this envelope. He says, what's it going to cost me for you to do 5 videos? So I told him. I said, well, it has to be original music. So I told him. And I said, I've got to have my own team going along, and my company, Wicked Productions, which I didn't have at the time, would be producing it and stuff like that. I said, okay, what's it going to cost? And I told him. And we went off to Jamaica. 32 of us went out to Jamaica, filmed the first video. And that's
where you're from, though, in Jamaica, yeah.
And that video became the biggest selling fitness video ever in this country. We sold 1.4 million copies of it.
Oh my goodness.
And every one of the other videos sold 250, 300, 400,000.
That's
those
incredible.
Are days of videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just look, in life with all of us, there's a moment when everything collides. Michael Jackson's a classic example. When Thriller came out, everything that he had done the years before collided, right? And so therefore what he did, right, was just amazing. Still the biggest selling album in the world, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And what did he try to do after that? Try and recapture that. You can't.
No.
Because at that moment, all the elements collide. And in all of us, in our lives, the elements do collide. It's just that sometimes we're so busy, we miss that opportunity.
So true.
We miss
So
that
true.
opportunity. So we've got to be always on the lookout for opportunity because it's knocking at the door, but disappointment's leaning on the doorbell. So you've got to listen for that, that knock.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's when it happened. But I'm very blessed in that, I've been able to reinvent myself in so many ways because the one thing I did do, as soon as the break on GMTV happened, I thought to myself, what do you remember about the Green Goddess? The fact that she's wearing green. Okay, so color matters. What else? Music matters. How you make people feel matters. I read just there and then Maya Angelou saying, people will sometimes forget what you said and forget what you did, but they won't forget how you make them feel.
Yeah.
So I knew that creating the right atmosphere was important. And I put all that together. And the Mr Motivator was born because a few years before I was doing a show called This Morning, and Judy Finnegan, they used to send me out into the crowds. And Judy Finnegan would go, for a bit of motivation, let's go over to Derek. And that remained with me, a bit of motivation. And I thought, Mr. Motivator.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's how it came about.
That's how it came about. So
Wow.
I quickly registered it.
And there we are.
And here we are.
So looking back at that time then, was the one like pinch me moment that you just thought, wow, I've really made it here?
I think, I tell you what it is. I'll be in there, and every single well-known star who came into the station wanted to exercise with me, no matter who they were, whether it was Elle Macpherson or Cindy Crawford or Danny Glover or Meatloaf, name it. Everyone who came in wanted to work out with me. I've got a book at home where they've all signed either saying, I've worked out with Mr. Motivator, or I thought about working out with Mr. Motivator, and I decided, nah. Right? But honestly, I met everybody. There were stars on television that you wouldn't think. I mean, they would invite me to, every concert they were at, I got invited to it, and so it went on.
And was you ever starstruck with any of them?
No.
No.
No, not really. I remember being invited by Stevie Wonder, and they took me behind, right, where he was getting ready and stuff like that. And I don't know, I've never been like that at all. But for me, it was just, I pinched myself because here's a young man who used to run around, I say young man at the time, when I was 40. I used to run around barefooted in Jamaica. I was given away at 3 months of age. I grew up with adopted parents. And then in the end, I became single parent, homeless. All those things happened to me. And then all of a sudden, I'm working with prime ministers, stuff like that. And here's a full circle of life. Recently, I set my own charity up, Bed Bank. And
Which is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a really amazing charity.
Thank you. We're getting lots of attention. It's all about creating awareness of what bed poverty is all about. And so funny because I did the first transmission on television. Gordon Brown and his people saw it. And we actually ended up having a Zoom call together, Gordon Brown and I, where his organisation offered him to help. Hello, darlings. How are you doing? Yeah, that's my life. You can stop right.
No, there's definitely a few questions I want to ask.
Oh, really? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I know you're on a timer.
Yeah, okay.
So, well, a couple of things.
Okay.
Obviously, first and foremost, when did you get married? Because I imagine your wife was like during all of this period as well.
Yeah. We met, right? In fact, we've been together 36 years.
Wow.
We've been married for 30 of those. So we met, right, in literally around the year, I can't even work it out now, 1990. She came along to a gym I used to have. And what she did was she was about to leave. And I came out of my office and saw her. And I said to her, why are you leaving? She said, well, I don't think these classes are for me. I said, well, you haven't tried my classes. Come and try mine. And she did. And after that was it. And she was around at all the school halls, collecting the funds. She'd be at the front meeting people, and that's it. Everywhere I went, she was there.
Oh.
Couldn't get rid of the devil. And here we are 36 years later.
Well, what's the secret to that 36 years of marriage?
She's right. That's the secret. Oh, what a beautiful dog.
Look, so you look at a lot of people now, like divorce rates are at an all-time high.
Yes.
People don't stay in long-lasting relationships. I interview plenty of people here that have been married for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And, I always ask the question because it's just different now.
Well, I think, let me say this to you. Hello, darling. How are you? Are you well? Good. Palmer and I have never argued.
Once?
Never once. Never had a disagreement or whatever it is.
Wow.
Right? And Abigail will tell you, a daughter, right, is that it just doesn't happen. right? Because if, let's say that, for example, we may disagree on something, but then what we'll do is outside of earshot, we'll sit and go, okay, this is where my stance, this is your stance, and we compromise. There's no reason to argue, really, if you think about it.
No.
Because we all deserve our own space, but we don't always have to agree. So we can beg to differ, right? And so that's one thing that's happened. And also, we can normally anticipate, if you know the person well enough, exactly what's going to cause them annoyance. So therefore, you know that thing's going to cause annoyance. Why do it? Why do it? Yeah? And so it goes on. So I say to people, yeah, nowadays it's different. You don't have to be married. You can live together. But if you want it to last, I think what you've got to do is be sensitive to each other, give each other space. My wife, for example, for the last 22 years, almost every other year has been going to Thailand. Then she has a beauty treatment. She's there for 2 or 3 weeks, right? She has detoxing and she comes back a new person.
Oh, that's amazing.
Love needs a holiday. And when she goes, I was left with Abigail as a youngster looking after Abigail and stuff like that.
Amazing. So when you look back at your life, obviously it's been so interesting. Yeah. We could probably go around this park about 10 times just speaking about your life. But what keeps you driven now? Because you've done everything. Like, you could go on cruises every other week and just basically retire. Like, what keeps you driven now?
I go on cruises and get paid to go on cruises. That's right, they pay me because I run classes on there and we have the biggest room on the ship and we get 200 over 70s queuing up to get in every single morning. You know what keeps me going? Is because I meet so many people who go, because of you. Those 3 words matter to me. And to all of us, those words should matter, because if someone was to turn around and go, because of you, I change direction. Because of you, I now go for a walk. Because of you, I stand up, sit up straight. I think that is a real great kind of a legacy to leave behind. But also, it's just the fact that everybody knows me. Everybody grew up with me and they were part of I was part of their childhood, if you wish, and those people are the decision makers out there now. They've grown up, they've gone to university, and so they give me all the work I get. And as long as the work keeps coming in and I keep enjoying it, which I do, long may it continue. Look, I mean, I met Dan, and that was great, reaching out to him because I see the energy in him, which is the kind of energy that I have, and so I surround myself with people who feed me. They're injecting new life into me. Whereas some people, if they're around for long enough, they're like vacuum cleaners. They suck the oxygen out of the room. And I say, get rid of them, move on. But anyone who actually makes you feel good and lifts your spirit up, you want to be around.
We're coming to a close, Mr. M.
Oh, well, it's been exciting this.
But we always have one final question. We always like to impart on one piece of wisdom that you would like to pass on to a younger generation. What is that one piece of wisdom?
And it's this. Work hard, be considerate, and be kind, and then amazing things will happen in your life. Don't wait for your ship to come in. Swim out to it. Remember, no one owes you anything, right? And what you got to do every single day is just stand up tall, look in that mirror, and count your blessings. And start with, I can hear, I can see. And the final one, you have a choice. Those are wonderful blessings. And on top of that, just keep thinking of Motivator and you'll be all right forever.
Appreciate it, my friend. I really do. Thank you so much.